asynchronous.
Asynchronous, so meaning...
I didn't want to mention it.
Asynchronous.
Oh my. I can't English, guys. I'm not from America. I'm kidding.
But however, there'll be some points where like I just get students who are just like, can you just complete the code for me? I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that for you.
Finish it,
Why?
Just finish it, damn it. Yeah, he's pretty much our best friend. He's a proud dad. He is a proud dad.
Yes.
He knows it.
I really wanted him to say that he was our little punch.
I want him to be my pappy.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Hang Out here on Apartment 308 YouTube channel. My name is Brian as always, and today you're on an episode of Let's Hang Out. This is episode 4, and with me today are some returning guests, Aya, Blake, Grant,
Hi.
and Ryan. Say hello, guys.
Hi.
As always,
Hello.
what's your other names?
What?
Great intro, Ryan, as always.
Well, I like to be consistent, unlike you.
All right. So on today's
Consistently inconsistent.
on
Yes,
today's episode
my
of
consistency.
Let's Hang Out. Today we're going to be talking about Zoom classes. We just finished the semester, so now we got to talk about why Zoom classes kind of sucked and what were our problems with it, why we just felt like, can't I stop going to school now? If you want to hear more on take on this, make sure you guys subscribe to Apartment 308, like the podcast, share it with all your friends, and yeah. Alright, let's get down into it. First things first. Why do we all hate using the app Zoom?
Mostly RAM. It was mostly the RAM. I can't do it. I can't do jack shit on my old computer when using Zoom because like it will take up all the memory up.
Are you serious? How much RAM does Zoom usually take?
I don't know how much RAM it took, but it's like it was like really difficult for me to do it on the laptop, so I had to like go to a desktop.
If you're having resource issues on Zoom with a laptop, I think there's something else going on with your setup.
laptop. Yeah.
No worries. I know I do understand that there's gonna be resource issues with a laptop, and my only solution was just like go to desktop, and it worked better from there.
I see.
Yeah.
The app itself, the homepage interface, you get this. Hold on, let me bring it up on my computer so I can get a good look at it. It's just really, really bad. I mean, with Discord, you go into a server, you have the channels that are text, the channels that are voice. You can join them accordingly, or you can even do solo calls and screen share, and just kind of do everything that Zoom does, but with better security and better add-ons. With Zoom, no one knows how to like direct call except for maybe like one professor I had. And when they called me, the volume was so loud that I like jumped out of my seat because I had never heard Zoom actually ring before. I was just clicking on links and like putting in IDs, and oh my god, the whole system of Zoom and how it funnels you to an actual Zoom meeting sucks. And what sucks more about it is that when non-tech inclined people, and I'm not saying this like I'm nothing against them. I mean, they just haven't had the experience. But when they try to host Zoom meetings, it's nearly impossible to not have technical difficulties.
Me and Aya had experience with teachers like that.
Oh my god. So we're not gonna mention any names or any class, but dear Lord, me and Brian were struggling in this one class because she's not really technically, she is a boomer.
Yep.
And, well, she would either call on me to help her or our other classmate who was the big brain of the entire class. He would be our Mr. Maintenance guy. And oh my god, the class is about to be over, and then she only figured it out and gives us like last minute assignments. I'm like, wait, we're not ready. You didn't even tell us what to do.
We
Oh
ain't
my
ready.
God.
We ain't ready.
And then she'll expect it in like either 2 days or 3, or even worse, the next day.
Oh my
The
God.
Lion, the Witch, and the Audacity is this bitch.
Pretty much. That's what we all said about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just kind of further proof that the interface sucks. Like, no one that needs to use it can use it to its fullest extent. And it's impossible to actually use it as an app to connect without the use of specific calls and links.
Yeah.
I don't like the program. I don't
Yeah.
like one thing about it.
That's
Not
what
gonna
makes
lie.
me wonder why we didn't just use Skype, because Skype was a little better, even if a lot of
Oh,
people would
God.
like to shit on it.
My computer can't run Skype.
Oh,
Are you
dear Lord.
serious?
Maybe Microsoft Teams. What about Microsoft Teams or
That one works
That's
really
it.
well.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I think
heard
there,
that.
Classroom
I think with
has
that-
a fair share of issues.
Yeah.
there's kind of a cost issue with Microsoft Teams because on accounts that are smaller, you don't have to pay as much, but the institution itself would have to pay quite a bit for that software suite to be used with
Paying a
thousands
huge
of
contract
students.
onto Zoom.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but Zoom is definitely not the price that.
But what about Google Class?
Google Class is way
I
better
heard there-
from what my friends told
I
me.
I heard actually my mother works for a school for the school district nearby, and she had her fair issues with Google Classroom as well.
Right.
It's like it was just like Zoom was the only was pretty much the go-to for the entire school after that.
My experience with Google Classroom was absolute garbage. Actually,
Damn.
assignments wouldn't show up. Like picture iLearn, but worse, in my opinion.
Oh, damn.
And we all know how we like iLearn.
Okay, hang on a sec. For people who don't know what iLearn is, just take Canvas and then just make it worse. And
Take
if you
off
don't
a
know
lot
what
of
Canvas
design.
is, then I don't know what to say to you.
Make
It's like Blackboard.
make the user interface for teachers so incredibly complicated that assignments don't get posted on time, and and it crashes at least 3 times a month. That's
Oh.
iLearn, and then Google Classroom is worse than that for different reasons. But did you mean Google Hangouts?
Yes,
Hangouts?
I am sorry.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
yeah,
no.
Google. Yeah, as a
It's
as a
currently Google
software,
Meets right now.
it's Google Meets now.
Actually,
Oh.
no, it's
Yeah.
separate. It's separate.
Oh,
Hardly used any of this.
So
What the fuck is Google?
So the thing is, right? So actually, like a couple months ago, I called up my friends, right? And I remember I used to use Google Hangouts, so I looked up Hangouts on Google, and there it was. But then my friend got confused. I was like, "Wait, are you sure it's not Google Meets?" I'm like, "No, this is completely different. I mean, it's both the same thing. That's it."
Yeah, it's just that Google's just trying to separate the apps out for based on functionality, but I don't get it.
that or either both interfaces or how it acts on a different application, whether it's on the computer or mobile. Who knows?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
actually on Hangouts, you can screen share on that. I think last time I did screen sharing on Google Hangouts, the quality was so shit. I think on Meets, I think it also has screen sharing capabilities. I can't remember, but
It does have screen sharing capabilities because
I
I had to
assume so, yeah.
use I used Google Meets a couple times, and that was mainly because for some reasons Zoom would not work with me on certain occasions, so I had to go okay, everyone, we're going to Google Meets. Okay, if you don't like it, do tough shit because I can't get it to
Yeah.
work.
So
But yeah, it does offer screen sharing. May not be the best, but it's serviceable.
yeah. So one main problem I had with Zoom before is I hate how you have to have a host for the meeting like this. I hate that. Especially with a specific teacher me and Aya had just this semester where he didn't know how to, like, he was the host, but the one thing he would constantly forget is to give us everyone in the class access to screen sharing capabilities.
Oh my
So then he would instead
god.
make us co-host. Or like, you do know you can just give everyone access to screen share, right?
But no. He
Brian,
chose to
Brian,
do it one
yeah.
by one.
Brian, can I like step in for a moment? Like
Yeah.
one of the things I'm a CS, I'm a computer science major, and we have to share our screens a lot. So therefore, like if we want to show our GitHub repositories, or we want to show the code that we're working on, or maybe like for game developer students to show the Unity project in real time. However, like sometimes I would try to I was like this, okay, I need to screen share right now. And then like sometimes I would get teachers who are just like, no. And I'm just like this, how do you expect me to share it with you? Yeah. So I'm just like this, okay, so you want us to share this, but not share the screen right now. So but I get like it's like this, what if they want the GitHub repository? Like no, like sometimes they want to like see the project and I'm just like, okay, why don't you just like enable screen sharing for all then?
Yeah.
But however, like the main difference between like the CS teachers and the other teachers, like no offense, is that they actually know how to operate Zoom.
Well, because
Yeah.
the CS department was using Zoom before all of this happened.
No
Yep.
wonder.
Fair enough. But yet the teachers also got training as well
Mhm.
once the pandemic hit.
Not all of them.
Yeah,
Not all of them?
not all of them. Not all
Really?
the instructors got it.
The extent
Some
to
of-
which they received training is kind of unknown by the students, though.
Yeah.
I was not aware of this because I know that the CS department really buckled down on trying to like get people trained on Zoom, but I did not know that there was people out there who were not trained properly.
So it's the same professor that me and Brian had. Apparently, she did go under training, but she said she didn't pay attention, and I was like,
Oh my god.
So we're going to be using this platform for a year, and she decided, you know what? I'm not going to put any effort into this, even though it's my job.
That sounds like Grant.
Pretty
When he
much.
goes, that sounds like Grant when he goes to class.
I mean, it is. It's definitely what happens.
That one teacher was they're just like this. Okay, you're gonna have to use this, so you're gonna need to know the inner workings inside and out. And the teacher's like, well, no.
Pretty much.
Basic understanding works. I use Zoom a lot less than most students.
A lot less?
Yeah, in terms of like, I only had one lecture that actually used Zoom regularly out of 4 lectures.
Really?
Well,
Interessante.
lucky dog.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it's like in law, we don't really need it as much.
It is true.
So even then, most of our things in like terms of lecture were, oh, here's a ton of reading, get it done, and we'll have a paper, and we might talk about it for a tiny bit.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess if like your class is asynchronous, I guess you don't have to worry about Zoom a lot. I know a couple of friends that had asynchronous classes this semester. And yeah, all they had to do was just reading, quizzes based on the reading, and then one big essay at the end of it, and that was it. You didn't have to do much.
if I can butt in, like, I work closely with the business department, and oh my god, business majors are crazy about Zoom. I'm like, okay.
What business majors are you talking to?
Yeah.
No.
The majority of us hate it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Then I don't know. Maybe the ones
You
that
might
are-
be talking to the CS students, maybe,
Probably.
because they're grouped together in the same building.
No.
No, because
don't
that's your
know
job.
anyone really
You're
liked it.
talking with the business students
Actually-
a lot, right?
Maybe-
To be fair, like you're not gonna like run into like students in the building because there's no one in the building. So,
Oh yeah.
so I retract my statement.
Yeah.
And Brian, say what you said. Asynchronous.
Asynchronous, so meaning
I didn't want to mention it.
Asynchronous.
Oh my! I can't English, guys. I'm not from America. I'm kidding.
I was cracking up.
I
Like
can't
just
English.
silently to myself.
English is my least favorite subject, and thank God I'm done taking those classes. But anyway,
Oh yeah.
Actually, yeah, the asynchronous classes were like, I don't know, like what to say about it. It's just like sometimes like I want to do it, but on the other hand, it's like I have other teachers who are like destroying me with projects, and I need to get them done. So free day, I guess.
yeah.
I think asynchronous classes, like their efficacy is kind of based on like the student and how much they care. Because there are students that have asynchronous classes that are like, okay, I'm going to go to every single one of these on my own time. This is great. But then there are other students like, if there's not a designated meeting time, then I'm not going to go because I don't have that structure, or like there's no point. There's no like requirement for me to be there.
Yeah.
Actually,
two sides.
Oh yeah, actually, I also would like to like mention something. During the summer, I was taking, I was going back to community college just to like finish up my lower GE, and one of my classes was the U.S. government class, and the guy was doing it asynchronously through Zoom. However, like he's been posting it online through what is that website called, Panpatel or something like that? I don't know.
What the fuck is that?
I don't. The school also our school also uses it as well. But however, it will come up with a transcript for the lesson. But for some reason, that the transcript's all fucked up. That it's like you read it and then you have to like reread it twice and 3 times and 4 times just to like just go like this. Oh, they probably meant the Bill of Rights. So. Or I keep on I forgot like what was like some like the transcript errors, but however I'm not sure if you could go in there and fix them up manually, but yet the automatic transcripts were all wrong.
Thought that was just for like foreign language courses. I never looked at my English courses, like the ones taught in English, in their Zoom transcript, but I know in the foreign language one it was useless. Because Zoom does not convert anything to a different language.
It is when teachers upload their Zoom videos and it has the transcript. Yeah, sometimes I think it fails worse than how Google Translate tries to understand another language. It can't even understand English language as well.
I think it's worse when you translate something to a different language in Google Translate and then translate back to English by copying and pasting.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's worse than that.
It's like that one YouTube video where he grabs recipes online and then Google Translate into a different language and then turns it into English and does the same thing, and then he'll try to cook.
I actually remember a lot. I remember there was like this one YouTube video where this one woman translated "Let It Go" into some other language, translated it back, and then tried singing it.
Oh god.
Oh god, that doesn't sound like good work.
It's actually funny though.
All right. So moving on from the shitty Zoom app, now we're gonna talk about like more of like, let's say, us trying to stay motivated. Like, did you guys find it really difficult for this semester to like stay motivated in your classes? I feel like everyone,
definitely.
Two words: hell yeah.
I did most of my work in the last 3 weeks of school.
And what's your grade? Do you know?
I have set the curve on 2 different exams. I don't know my paper grades. And I passed Japanese magically.
Magically.
Got an A.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yes, yeah. I'm not sure like what caused like all the like the motivation issues. Like I think it's due to the fact that I'm doing this in my bedroom off of my gaming PC. It's like, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be like hella motivated while I'm stuck in my room for like the past 9 months.
That is one
Yeah.
factor I always consider, because I'm like, I'm here in my room, my own private room. I'm sitting at my usual desk. I have my bed behind me. Do I really want to get up and do work? Maybe not.
No.
I had professors
sorry.
post assignments on the first week that were due, like everything that would be due through the entire semester. So I knew exactly how much stuff I had to do by the end, and there was certain points where I wouldn't log on to a class for like 5 weeks at a time.
Damn.
Actually, what I was about ready to say is that there were some days where I had morning classes. I did not want to get up out of bed, go eat breakfast and whatnot. I just like got my phone out, punched in the room code, and then just like did the class in bed.
Oh,
I've done multiple classes in bed this semester because I had 8 a.m.s and gonna kill me.
Oh no, Blake.
And
Brian, do you
Huh?
remember that one time when I took our class? I was driving in Reno. I was in Zoom.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
There was a time where this one class me and Aya had, she was apparently going to Reno on like a short trip, and she didn't want to
yeah.
miss out, so she logged into Zoom in the car.
I was so ready to gamble.
And then our teacher was like, Aya, what are your comments on this situation? And I don't think you said anything.
so in some business seminar speakers talk about how motivation is kind of based on the value you perceive you will get out of whatever it is you're doing. So if it's a value building activity, kind of like say you have to build a windmill, and this windmill is going to mill your grain, and it'll help you make bread, which will help you survive, and that's like your main facet of survival. Like, you're gonna build that windmill because you have the perceived value of that windmill like already kind of pictured, but the value of a Zoom class is already perceived to be a lot lower than a regular class, because when the quality is not as good, there's going to be technical difficulties, like everything we listed before of why we don't like it, and add on top of that the emotional and kind of physical barriers to it. Like emotional meaning like we're in the middle of a pandemic, it's an election year, tensions are high, there's protests, there's movements going on.
Yeah, I remember like around election time, like that was like the most unfocused in class I was, because there was like a bunch of shit going on, and since one of my parents had like MSNBC on downstairs all the time, covering this like day in and day out, it was extremely distracting.
Yes, there's a lot of distracting things going on right now, and it's affecting a lot of people's mental state. Like I remember just being so like, I'm not getting up and walking to a class. I don't leave my house most days, and like you know, it wears on people, and it's kind of apparent because people are like saying, I'm not gonna close my shop or do all this other kind of stuff. Like, people are fatigued and tired, and to learn from a system that they've had like maybe 2 months of experience from back in spring, and have it be just have all these awful problems, and it's near impossible to find the motivation because you can't see the value of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, not only that. There's also there's also like one big secret ingredient that holds us back from like being motivated through Zoom meetings, and that is like human to human interaction physically.
I was about to bring that up, yeah, because
you mean in person?
Yeah,
in person. Yeah, person.
Yeah, because for someone like me, I am an extrovert, so I depend getting my energy based on like how much I meet people in person. Especially if it's like new friends, because you guys know, like every year or every semester, I meet like new international students. Because of us going online, I didn't get a chance to meet anybody new, and also, yeah, being in person, there was more value, and I would actually focus more in person, not just because the teacher is staring right at me in my soul, just trying to get my attention.
Well,
Um,
no, well, not that. Can I also like bring a CS perspective into this?
yeah, for sure.
It's yeah. It's there. Sometimes, like whenever you're doing a group project, and whenever you're doing it in person, and there's like an error or something like that, you could at least like tell them like, okay, you could at least go to their screen, go and like tell them to like scroll around, see if they can find the error, catch the error, fix it, and then get on with the project. However, like this happens too much. It's just like this. It's like we have a meeting. It's like this. There's an issue. There's an issue with my program. I was like that. So I just goes like, okay, can you share your screen? And then it's like 5 minutes of them trying to figure out how to get the screen thing to work, and then suddenly it's like this low quality screen because they don't have like really great internet connection, which I'm not like making fun of. Is like, no, everyone's got to have perfect internet connection, especially after the takedown of net neutrality. Then and then you're just like telling them like this. Okay, go back. No, go. You were just right there. Okay. You see that thing right there? You see that thing right there? Do this, and then it'll do something else. It's like, no. So it was just trying to guide your child on how to. It's like trying to guide your child on how to program.
Yes, I actually I had a similar experience coding this year in VBA, which is Visual Basic for Excel, and like I had a group, and I kind of carried them on my back a little, and I did a good portion of like tutoring and planning for the group, and I had to really like in depth help people kind of write their code, and I mean it's hard to learn in this day and age or in this at this time because of the motivation thing and the distance thing, and I get that, and it's very difficult to code for people that have never coded before, cold turkey, especially like
turkey?
in an online class. Gobble. And like I totally get that, but in these Zoom calls where I was helping them write their code, the same thing happened to me. They had the internet connection was slow, and like I would tell them to change one thing, and they would go and change another, and then the whole code wouldn't work, and I kept telling them to go back and change that, but they still didn't understand what I was saying. So Ryan, I totally get that perspective. Like trying to like talk someone through actual steps of completing a task is very difficult.
Actually, when I was a TA back in spring, one of the issues for TAing at that time was that you're trying to guide people through it, but not actually trying to guide them through it. Like you're just trying to like nudge them along. But however, there'll be some points where like I just get students who are just like, "Can you just complete the code for me?" I'm just like, "No, I'm not doing that for you."
Finish it,
Why?
Just finish it, damn it.
Because it's not because I don't get paid to help you finish code. I get paid to help you learn.
You're much better than I am. I would have just done it because it would have got them away from me quicker.
Get the fuck out of my office. I'm done with you.
Thank you.
Oh,
but yeah, that was like one of the biggest issues. Like if you're trying to do group projects and it's just like trying to make sure everyone's on track. And the worst part as a CS student is that you're trying to teach other students how to use GitHub when they had no prior experience at GitHub.
yeah. Actually,
So
just real quick, I know Blake and Ryan, you guys mentioned before, like we're in the middle of like a natural disaster, You guys remember when all of the California fires were starting?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, like
Oh,
one
I
of them was
have
caught
a-
by
Would you like me to discuss my
Gonna
personal
reload.
experience with the
I have a
California
Yeah.
story. I
fires?
have a story
Oh,
too. I have a
God.
story too about that.
Same.
I remember it was literally the night before the first day was gonna happen, and I am trying to sleep on my bed, but my parents came into my room and so like, Brian, do you smell smoke in your room? And that's when I was like, shit, I actually do smell smoke in my room. So then I had to leave my room, go sleep on the couch for the night, and I did not sleep that comfortable on the couch that night because I'm like, my big bed. Why the smoke? Because the thing is about my room, I have a giant ass window that's like facing outside. So of course all the smoke would seep through that. I was like, no, fuck. And then what was it like the day of when everything was had that orange Snapchat filter on? I was like,
Yep.
what the fuck?
Yeah, so I was in the middle of the hill that it was actually on fire, and
Oh yeah.
how it went was okay. So I had Haley over, and it was really late at night. I think it was sometime in the AM, and the lightning started, and the giant lightning started. It was like 120 or some shit, and she was like, "Oh my god, look, cool lightning!" And I was just thinking to myself, "Oh my god, this is gonna start. This is gonna start fires," because I've been evacuated for two fires like before this one,
Oh.
and like in the morning, smoke everywhere, and
Oh
my dad's like, "Okay,
fuck.
we gotta pack," and so I packed everything up.
I got scared
Another
too.
day,
Yeah.
yeah, another day goes by, and everything's chill. Haley goes home, and then uh like during the night I had kind of unpacked some of my stuff actually, because I'm like, well, it doesn't look, because there was one fire like really close to us, but it looked like it wasn't going to be big or get to us. So some of us unpacked some of our stuff, and then we get the reverse 911 call, which is telling us to get out. So it was 12 o'clock at night, and we were packing all of our things to get off the mountain. And while we were packing our things, we looked up, and in the sky we got flaming embers coming down, and
Holy
ash falling from the sky.
shit.
It was, so like the fires, three fires were on like a beeline towards our house, and
Oh my god.
so we were getting out, we were getting the dogs, we were getting all of our valuables. I packed all of my sentimental items, and then we said goodbye to the house, because the fire was like, we had been watching it for a couple hours beforehand. It was like, okay, it's 10 miles away. Okay, it's 7 miles away. It's 5 miles away. Like, it kept getting closer and closer and closer, and then fires started surrounding us. So we got out and we got to my grandparents' house. We stayed one night there, and the fires got so bad we were tracking them on like an infrared map, and our house was surrounded less than a mile around. Like, the fire was on our street, and we were like, okay, we lost our house. So we were like talking about what we were going to do and where were we going to stay. Were we going to rebuild our house? Were we going to
Find a new
like
place.
find a new place to live? How would we sell it? What's insurance going to be like? And then while we were at our grandparents' house, who also live on the same mountain but closer to town, they were like, okay, now you guys got to leave. So we packed them up, and we figured, okay, we don't want to lose this house. So our neighbor has a tractor. We mowed down the surrounding of the house with that tractor, and created kind of like a fire break and watered the entire house. We got them out, and we stayed in a hotel. We were in that hotel for like 2 weeks, and then while the fires were coming, and then in Santa Cruz, the fire line went down to like inside of town, and we're like, holy crap, they're abandoning the mountain. Are we going to have to evacuate from the hotel? And I was like, oh my god. And my parents actually went to, I'm sorry, this story is taking a long time. My parents actually went to New Hampshire during this time because they had to help someone move. So it was me and Mike, my older brother Mike, and then Nick came back from staying at his girlfriend's house like a weekend or so, and then we were taking care of the grandparents for a while there. and then we actually managed to move back into the grandparents' house, and we stayed there for like another 2-3 weeks or something like that. So we were evacuated for over a month, and for most of that we thought we lost our house. It was crazy.
Damn.
And all this
Actually-
time, school started, and I was trying to start a business, and the whole thing was horrible timing.
2020's fucking
Actually,
sucks.
yeah, I actually got somewhat affected by the fires during the time. So, for those who don't remember, the reason that California had these fires was that later on in the year there was a hurricane that came up from the west coast of Mexico. I think it was a tropical storm, but then it was starting to fizzle off, and some of the lightning storms ravaged California. There was like a few that happened in the Bay Area, and
Sorry to
One
interject.
of the-
There were hundreds in the Bay Area, actually.
oh really? Oh, never mind. Sorry,
Mhm.
my apologies.
That's okay.
The fire that was affecting me the most was the CZU Lightning Complex fire.
Oh my
and-
god.
And one of the things, like, and here's the thing, I lived up here throughout my whole entire life, and we've been through like multiple wildfires, and some of them are caused by exploding mess shacks, but that's another podcast for another time. And so far our house has survived, and there was like, and the thing that was like affecting us the most was like the smoke. Like we could not see it. We could not see like down the road. It was like so hard to breathe up there, and not only that, but to make matters worse, my parents were panicking a lot, and I was just trying to, and I kept on getting like the secondhand panic, like I was panicking because they were panicking. And we were like, oh my god, are we gonna lose the house? So therefore, we were like scrambling to like hardware stores just to like get some sprinklers, just to like douse down the lawn, and not only that, also like make some like flatten out some road. So therefore, if we do need to evacuate, the cars can go through our property and down the mountain. And it got to the point where like we were trying to pack up just like to anticipate an evacuation. But however, the worst that we got was just like a warning, because there was like because later on there was supposed to be another lightning storm, which did not happen. And I was sitting at our hotel because we were doing like a voluntary evacuation. So, and everyone in my house had like the NASA Firms map, the Windfinder map, and the wildfire map all at once, just trying to keep track of this dang thing. However, it was worse for my sister who lives south of me, and the fire was like around 5 miles away from her house, so she had to evacuate because it was heading. I believe it was heading eastward, eastward, and she was displaced for like about 3 weeks, I guess. And then, but thankfully, like we did not lose the houses, which I'm grateful for. But however, there were like bigger casualties, like Big Basin was lost, Boulder Creek got it really bad, and some parts of Scotts Valley that were affected.
Are we neighbors?
I guess so.
Are you in Bonnie Doon?
No, I'm not in Bonnie Doon.
Well, yeah, if you were in Bonnie Doon, you would have been evacuated, same as me. But
No. I'm close to Los Gatos.
Yeah.
you're on that side.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Grant, did you guys
Wanna
have to
hang out?
evacuate?
I didn't have to evacuate, but I lived in the center of like 3 major wildfires.
What the fuck?
And
Wait, which
I
ones?
lived the Yorba Linda, the Azusa, and then a Riverside fire.
I was really close to the Riverside fire at that time. We were almost evacuated because the fire was like 10 miles away. And I believe I sent you a picture, Brian. I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't live
It's
close
so
enough
crazy,
to get
no matter-
evacuated,
I
but
was-
I
It ma-
live
it-
in the mountain
It made
path,
every.
so I get
sorry.
all the wind and the ash blown into my
Yeah.
area.
There was so much ash. Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
It made everywhere look like Silent Hill.
I think I was driving down from Monterey the day that all the fires started popping up in Southern California.
Shit.
And like coming down from Monterey, it was before the big fires up there started. But like as I was coming down, you could see the sky getting more and more orange, ash getting everywhere. And like by the time I reached my house, it was like I already told my family to leave my dogs inside because they were leaving for the week.
Hmm.
But like by the time I got there, the pool was covered in ash and everything.
And
Yeah.
ash and water creates lye, so
Mhm.
it can be toxic. So just heads up.
Damn.
It's so crazy that no matter where you are in California, you got affected by the wildfires in some way.
Yep.
Yeah.
If only we raked the forests.
Ugh.
Oh boy.
Wait, are you in Southern California or are you in NorCal?
I'm
Me?
in North Cal. I live around where the river fire happened too. If we're all staying Monterey, yeah. I'm literally next to the CS2MB.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you also had to deal with the Salinas fire and stuff.
Yeah.
By
So-
the way, I just want to say this. What I said earlier was sarcasm. Please don't interpret it as such. please don't interpret it the
Yeah.
other way. Thank you. I don't want to wind up on Facebook
Uh-oh.
proving a point.
Yeah. So moving right along. Did you, on top of like, trying to stay motivated for your classes, for the workload you guys got this semester, would you say you guys got more work than, than when we were in person, or less?
I would say I got more work.
I think everyone
Personally,
got more work. Because
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
I think it was because like maybe the teachers did not get the timing right, or they just like greatly overestimated like how everyone
I got
was able
significantly
to get
less
everything
work.
done.
You got less work, Grant?
Significantly.
Define
Wow.
significantly.
In total for my con law course, I had 10 case briefs due by the end of the semester that were available from the start of the semester, 1 paper and 2 exams.
Shit, what the fuck?
Of those, there's no way the professor can track that you actually do all the other reading, so
Yeah. I remember you and I dealt with the same teacher, but this one teacher where the human computer interaction class that we took.
Mm-hmm.
I was hearing a lot of complaints from students saying how this
Oh my
teacher
God.
specifically was giving us way too much work. But I
He
also
was the only. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was about to say, like, I understand a little bit why, because like Ryan said, I guess teachers underestimated how much free time we have since all of us are home. But also too, she only had an hour and 20 in class time. If she would have had just a couple more minutes, we could have done some of the assignments in class and asked her more questions instead of us emailing each other back and forth saying, "Hey, what did you mean by this and the directions?"
God, she underestimates that some of us have like 6 classes. Some have it even worse, like 7. And on top of that, most of us work. So for that professor that we had, for her to assign at least 4 to 5 assignments, and none of them make sense on how she sets these deadlines, because
Oh my
you would
God.
think that there are some assignments that need more work, and oh dear Lord, she always mentions it in class that, oh, you have a lot of time on your hand, you're fine. Like,
Yeah.
no.
Nope.
Actually, can I kind of like mention something?
Yeah.
I during the semester, I had like around 5 classes that I was taking because that's usually like how I normally do it on a normal semester. I was in algorithms, advanced game development, environmental modeling, character design, and software engineering. It is a little bit much. If it is a little bit much, like if you hear it like this, but however, there were two sets of classes that were taught by the same teachers, and for the the advanced game development and the software engineering, there he was doing it, and he was teaching in the same style as well, but giving us like the same like amount of homework for each of those classes, but he timed them like on the exact same weeks, like on the exact same days that we're doing. So like if I'm doing a game development project, I'm also doing a software engineering project. Both of those took a lot of time out of my hands. So
Yeah.
and now that I would also have to like create an environment. This will also happen with the environmental modeling and the character design. So I would have like something. I had to do something for environmental modeling, and I had to do something for character design. Both require me to use Maya. So, and they were also timed around at the same time. So if the timing was like more so like, I turned in my game development project like halfway through my software engineering project, then I would probably like have more time on my hands, because like sometimes like whenever I'm on the tail end of a project, there's like probably a lot less to do. So therefore I could focus my energy onto a different project. So, but however, this resulted me into taking lesser roles in a game in a game development project and a software engineering project. So like I would like be doing like stuff like front end just to say like, hey, I did something. Like it's not what I wanted to do entirely, but I did something, and it's mainly because I don't have the time for the other stuff.
I can relate because I also had the environment and character design, and I would always do it a night before.
Oh yeah, I didn't you send me on Snapchat one time of you trying to render something for your file, and that shit
yes.
took 4 hours for rendering?
No, 5 hours. 5 hours.
Oh shit.
Da-da-da, the magic of beauty rendering.
That is the reason why I decided to go for like a more powerful gaming desktop PC.
I have a gaming desktop.
I built a better one. I built like a better desktop PC, and however, like it still took a long time to render stuff.
Yep.
I don't know why or how, but something's wrong algorithmically.
Rendering is just very difficult in general, especially on first pass.
Yep.
Try doing it hard coding in DirectX. That's a bitch.
You know how long it takes me to export these podcasts onto YouTube? Especially these
really long.
Yeah, these hour-long episodes I edit. It takes at least like 3.5 hours to export. And I am trying to do the bare minimum of like video quality, because well, I don't know how many of you guys are actually watching the actual video of this podcast. I hope you guys are just listening. I don't know what you guys are doing. Probably nothing weird, hopefully. But yeah,
you better be doing nothing weird, sickos.
I'm looking at you. That's right, fourth wall breaking. I'm looking at you. I see what you're doing there, dog. That's kind of nasty.
Stop it with the Rule 34, okay?
Yeah, but staying on topic of like too much work. Yeah, I do feel like a lot of teachers totally underestimated how much free time we got. But I will say there was one professor who was the absolute MVP of actually caring about us students. So our project.
He's our best friend.
Yeah, he's pretty much our best friend. He's a proud dad. He is a proud dad,
yes.
and he knows it.
I really wanted him to say that he was our little punch.
I want him to be my pappy.
That ass. Actually, Aya one time, Aya and a few others in the class, they kept saying "pog," and then in our Discord,
saying "poggy woggy."
Yeah, Aya said, "God, can our teacher please say "pog" and have that recorded?"
I need it. I need it so bad. I'm gonna use it as my ringtone.
I knew you were gonna say that. It
That's
was
a
gonna be
whole
like a
other
text
set of
message
problems.
ringtone.
No, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I just
A whole different set of problems.
I just need a good figure, damn it.
Yeah, but I will say, this one teacher, one of our midterm projects was to develop a website on WordPress, and I would say about 90% of the students did not know how to use WordPress. So the deadline is coming up. I actually had like a couple people DM me saying, "Yo, I can't figure out how to work WordPress. Do you?" I'm like, "Nah, I can't. I just made a shitty website on WordPress. I don't know. I don't even know how to code it." And then we go up to our teacher day of the submission, and everyone in the class is like, "We can't work WordPress." And it's like, "Yeah, okay, you know what? I'll extend the project by 3 weeks." And we're just like, wait. 3 whole weeks. You're gonna extend this project?
Wow.
He's like, yeah, and I'll invite some other teachers to help you guys out. We're like, this man right here, he's making me
godsend.
cry. He's making me cry.
Actually, I would like to point out something. Like, I'm not here to vilify my teachers because I don't think like they're entirely at fault. Like it's like a new environment. It's no one has like this whole thing down yet. So
Yeah.
so like I don't like go like, oh, they're bad teachers or whatnot. I just want to say like this is like some of the issues that arose and they could probably be fixed.
That's another thing too I wanted to say. It's like some of our teachers did acknowledge that this is their first time teaching on Zoom. They don't know how it's gonna go. We don't know how it's gonna go. So, I mean, at least for this first semester, I think I would say it's a trial run. Some teachers passed. Others, they could use a lot of work. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
And I think like there's like some teachers who think they know more, but they really don't but in fact no one does. No one knows like what's going on. They so it's just best to like understand like it's not going to be perfect, but just don't like overdo it.
Yeah. Blake, would you agree saying that like teachers like they still don't understand like everything going on?
Some do, some don't. I mean, I have had teachers that it's like, what, this was saying something very positive here, and if this gets back to him, I want him to know that it was positive. My 308 professor, he constantly altered the class where he was allowed to, of course, and made sure that we were still learning as well as not falling behind. He would hold Zoom sessions like late at night or early in the morning for people that needed help with their projects, and he was a huge help. And he never forgot to tell us that he was proud of us. And like every time he did, it nearly brought a tear to my eye because like
that's a
I
pod
wish.
teacher.
he meant it. His like Mohammed, if you're listening, you're amazing. We appreciated everything. So thank you.
Yeah. I appreciate the teachers that, actually, yeah, like I said, they actually care about us. They are a dad. They are a proud dad looking at us saying, "You got this. I support you."
Yeah, proud dad or mom, of course.
Yeah, let's give the teachers a round of applause for like for trying their best.
Insert an applause track
it wasn't
on
easy.
that one.
Can we get some pogs for the teachers in chat?
Pog.
I mean, yeah, you've got those experiences and you got others. So, I mean, it's all about the effort and the circumstance. It's all about effort or circumstance.
Yeah.
But
it's actually kind of like it's like being reactive instead of like no wait, I lost it.
Yeah, well, in acknowledging that they too are going
proactive
through the same
instead of reactive.
going through, yeah, acknowledging that they're going through the same things that we're going through, like is kind of really important because they're trying to mesh what they've been doing for years, like with a brand new system, and they're not sure how it's going to work. Giving them the benefit of the doubt is nice, but it doesn't mean that we don't have the right to complain about our situation. Because through those complaints we can actually guide where it's going to go.
Actually, speaking of complaining about the current situation, if you're people like me who live out in the sticks, then these are the most common issues with you: internet and power.
Oh yeah.
That was the common issue with me throughout this whole entire semester. There will be some times where I would get power outages and I would miss like a couple days of school, or my internet would not work, and I would have trouble getting into Zoom. It got to for the internet situation. It got to the point like you don't have. Here's the thing: for the internet situation, you don't have a lot of options whenever you're in the mountains, because like it kind of like depends on who's willing to come up here and who's willing to like spend money into the infrastructure. So we only have like one wired internet provider, unless if you live in certain areas of the mountain where you get Xfinity. But for me, like we had to like go into alternatives. So we had to like do what's called a fixed wireless signal, which is where they stick an antenna on top of your roof and then they point it a certain direction. It's not like satellite where it's like Starlink's internet program. It's more so like there's like an antenna off in the distance. They point to it, and that's how you get your internet.
Okay, so we are running out of time, so we're just going to take the next few minutes to talk about one last thing. Let's all just very quickly just share a Zoom fail story. As in, like, someone did something or said something really stupid during a Zoom class.
Someone was smoking a bong while we were literally in class. I was like, dude, please turn off your camera. Your professor looking at you. No.
The fucking casualty.
He didn't get
I'm with it as long as you do it as casual.
We do.
That fucker was really casual. It's like, I don't care. Smoke this bong, I don't care. Like,
here in
California.
Here in apartment 308, please smoke responsibly. That's all I'm gonna say. But not during class.
Make sure when you're smoking responsibly, it's in a state that's legalized.
Yep.
Yes.
You're legally able to get THC in every single state. It's just a different strand.
Oh, I have another one. What was it? I think this was in a class me and I were in. I remember like it's like 2:00. And of course, our teacher's like, let's wait an extra 5 minutes for everyone to show up. One of our friends joins in the Zoom call, and but when she turns on her camera and joins Zoom, she's in the middle of another phone. She's in like a separate phone call, and she didn't mute her mic. First thing we heard from her was something like this. It's like, what? That girl did that to you? Man, fuck the hoe. Fuck her shit. Stupid bitch. And then our teacher heard that, and he's like, you do know I have to cut this out later on for the class recording. And she's like, shit, I'll call you back later. Sorry. What was funny is that we clearly saw a Corona bottle in her background. We're like, she's been day drinking too. I was like, bruh.
And that is why, people, you should invest in green screens just so they don't see what's in the background, and then you can have fun backgrounds.
But how is she gonna reach
cute
the bottle?
You just put it off to the side.
Yeah.
Grant, do you have any?
There's other cardinal directions.
Grant,
Yes, I do. Sorry, I got distracted by anime. I do.
Yes.
The anime episode will be another time, but continue.
So as we know, I only actually took one lecture over Zoom, and I just happened to have the pleasure of that lecture having a day where we just had to submit a project, and I assume that the professor had told the student that she had to resubmit because she didn't do it correctly. And in the middle of
story.
In the middle of our lecture, you just hear this girl talking to someone else in her room about how the professor's so stupid and what she was doing is so idiotic without muting her mic. And keep in mind, my only lecture was a Japanese lecture, and it was taught by the sweetest little lady, and she just kind of sat there at first and ignored it the first time, but it happened 2 other times. And on the last time, she kind of just said, "All right, we're done. We're going to breakout rooms, everyone."
Aww.
And just the rest of the lecture was spent in a breakout room.
No one mess
Oh
with
my
our
God.
sensei. She is too nice.
That kind of reminds me of like one of our club meetings. We were supposed to like, because I'm an officer in one of our clubs, and we have to do like these monthly or every semester where we have to join in and talk to other club members. As soon as the meeting started, we just hear, "Oh my God, it's that girl. I don't like being in there with her. Oh my God, she's like so dumb." And then one of us were like, you have your mic on," and it's like, "Oh shit."
Wow, talking shit about someone directly.
Yeah, I was like,
It's like,
That's-
how can I make this worse?
And the
Say-
worst part is, I know this person in one of our clubs, so it was kind of awkward too. Like, who was she pointing at?
Whenever you're shit talking, you somehow forget that there's always a mute microphone function.
I know, dude.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. It's
It
not
really
that
isn't.
hard.
that hard.
There's a little icon in the corner of your screen. If there's no stash to it, it means you're not muted.
Even Zoom prompts you to say, hey, hit Alt-A to mute or unmute. Which is a weird key binding, but you know what? Just deal with it.
It's such a shitty key binding. Shitty application.
Actually, I think there's a setting where you could just mute yourself by default.
I do that for a majority of my classes. Blake, Ryan, do you guys have funny Zoom fail stories? Just real quick.
I've had people like make disgusting noises on accident. I don't know where they currently were. Like,
Oh no.
like if they were in the bathroom or just that's what the
Oh,
that make like
Oh my god.
that's about the extent of it.
Were they clapping like this? Like
Quack, 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 quack.
No,
No,
Brian,
not like
please.
that. Not like that. It was it's not like that. It's different side of disgusting noises.
okay.
Ah.
I see.
Like he knows what's up. He knows what's up. You know what?
Oh my god.
I'm not always engaged, but I happen to be engaged at all the right times.
Like,
Oh yeah, Grant's engaged.
Alright.
All right, Ryan. What's your story, real quick? We're running out of time.
For like computer science students, like it's really rare for like someone to fuck up on Zoom, and that's mainly because I think it's because we actually know like what's in the software, like when are we muted, when we're not muted, but most of the time most of the time of the Zoom mistakes that happen with CS students, it's just like they are currently their microphone's not off. So like sometimes, so this would commonly happen, and that would be phone calls.
Oh yeah.
So people will be like talking on the phone, and then the teachers will be like, "Excuse me, excuse me, you're not muted," and then everyone is just panicking in the chat. It's like, "You're not muted, you're not muted," and but yet the person can't hear or is not paying attention, so therefore they're still continuing their call. So it gets to the point where like the host has to mute the person manually.
Oh yeah, that happened to us too.
It just, that happens a lot because like whenever you're not muted and like they hear sounds coming from you, they're just like, "You're not muted, you're not muted."
Yeah, I think everyone had to do that at some point.
It's good to know that the almighty CS student gods also make mistakes.
Everyone makes mistakes.
We are gods. We make software.
Everyone makes a mistake. Me especially. I make a ton of them, but don't be like me.
Actually, mistakes is what CS students do all the time. We're just really good at being casual about it.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, that's gonna wrap up this episode of Let's Hang Out. Before we end today's podcast, of course, we gotta do our usual plugs. So you guys can follow Aya here on Twitter, Instagram, and on Twitch at FoopleBuns. You can also follow Blake on his Twitch channel at FastPatch. I think I said that right.
I don't stream anymore, Brian.
Last time you promoted it. Oh, and one more thing.
You can follow him for lack of streams.
One more thing I would like to add, and I'm very happy to announce this. Blake here has launched his brand new business. It's called Allure Lash. Blake, real quick, do you want to explain what your business is about?
Yeah, my business sells magnetic eyelashes and magnetic eyelash accessories, and just launched it today. And if you want to stop by, follow the Instagram at Allure Lash Official, or follow the Facebook page. I'd much appreciated. Thank you.
All the links to their Twitch and Blake's site will be in the description. All right, that's it. That wraps up on today's episode of Let's Hang Out. Thanks to Aya, Blake, Grant, and Ryan for joining on today's episode.
No problem. I'm always glad to be here.
Yeah.
I'd invite me.
Pleasure.
Yes.
I'm just waiting for Grant. It's like, yes. Anyway, guys, make sure you subscribe to Apartment 308. Like the podcast, comment on your thoughts on Zoom and your experiences with Zoom classes. Share it with all your friends, and yeah, we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi.